Okay, this is an important video. I would really suggest that you watch it if you're interested in earphones and headphones, that's why you're here, I assume. This is huge. This is more info than you've ever had available to you, or anybody that's been in the hobby prior to you and has left because they got out of it. They never had what you have today, and that is info. Lots and lots of info at your fingertips, and it's just come about recently. This is the Squig.link project that's pretty much fronted by Super Reviews and a couple other people. He personally helped me out a lot with this. I use a dark version because I use it on a 55-inch screen, and the white background kind of blows it out, so I need to use the dark. So that's why I use dark, and mine looks a little bit different. And then everybody customizes theirs slightly different. But this has massive amounts of information that are very important to you. First, why do some reviewers listen to a set and like it, and then other reviewers listen to it and don't like it? Putting out technical ability and other stuff that some people can't get their mind around because it's hard to grip. Put that to the side, because we don't even actually need that. We can go just on personal preference. People listen at different volumes. People listen to different types of libraries. I show my library in all my videos so that you can get, like, he talks to me because I have those same albums. I listen to the same stuff he does. That's why he's maybe looking for that. I can get it, or I don't get it. Information is power, though. So this is one of the variables, is the library. Another would be the listening level. When I do headphones, it's at 77. So I can just kind of erase that because they seem like a wild card to me. And we have different targets. Like what I find to be appealing, what another person finds to be appealing is obviously not going to be the same. And you probably imagine that, but you can visually see that now. This is mine, roughly. I can pin this with this little pin mark, and I can add other people right here. I can add Super Reviews, the person that helped me make this. And he is looking for less bass and a little bit more upper mids. His looks like the Blessing 2, which he puts in his reviews. We're looking for different ideals. That's a set that I'm not a fan of, and he's a big fan of. So there's a big departure there. But forget about that. The created ideal graph came out different when he imagined what it is that he likes, and he referenced probably subconsciously or directly the Blessing 2 as upper mid treble that he finds to be pleasing. So why not build around that? Or it just came about like mine did, just looking at it, memory, and made it. But it's different from mine, and it'll pan out that when you look at a graph of a set and you listen to it, if it looks different than your ideal, and also it doesn't sound impressive in itself, it's going to be evaluated differently by one person than the other. So you have the Rosetta Stone that people before you in the hobby, a month ago, a year ago, 4 years ago, they never had this. You can now see the difference between reviewers. Sadly, Android, who's one of my favorite reviewers, his isn't working right now because I got to work on this. So what I'm going to do is show you another, so you can see the reviewers' targets. What's this mean? Instead of taking a company like Harman that creates a target that was really created for companies to make more profit, so that because they would make appealing stuff, that was created for them. For reviewers who have tried hundreds and thousands of different earphones, they've come to slightly different conclusions, and it seems universal to this point that most are looking for more upper treble than the Harman or other targets call for, because it does in fact have a slight effect on certain things. For my library, it would be cymbal strikes are clearly diminished by the Harman. This isn't a push on the Harman or an attack on it. I'm using it as an example of why I said in the Harman video, you can watch it again, I really want people who do lots of reviews to put their own ideal up there. It's based on their listening volume, listening library, and just what they find appealing. Forget what's safe. What do you like? Put your special thing into the hobby. Put your print on it with your target. And people have started to do that, or they did it before, but there was just no way to kind of combine it for you to just click, pin, click, and see the difference between the people that are doing the reviews. Some will be more lining up with what you like, and sometimes it doesn't even matter that. You can just visualize the difference of why one person finds one set to be appealing and another doesn't find it to be appealing. It might simply come down to nothing more than personal preference. That's it. It's not it's bad or it's good, it's just personal preference. It doesn't give me that that thing I'm looking for, that ingredient X, that thing that you can't, it's not the library, it's not the listening level, it's something else, it's something personal, and it's hard to describe. But when you put up a graph and you say this is a target, you're kind of tilting your hand, like in poker, you're showing your cards, because this is kind of what you're saying to the public. I kind of like this. I kind of find this to be safe. You didn't have this in your box of tools just a couple months ago. You've got it now. Use it. Fucking use it. It's an epic, epic tool. Let me go ahead and take that out. Let me go ahead and I'm going to click this. I'm going to go ahead and take him out, and I'm going to go ahead and add a set. I'm going to add the Mark II. Now, if I'm looking at this and I think I can't, the contrast, the color, it's not working for me, go next to the IM and then click, and you can change the color. I think I already said this, but I want to make sure you get this, because if you add several different sets, you want to make sure that the colors are quite different. Like that is kind of close, that those two colors. That's hard to see. Maybe that's a little bit better. Maybe that'll work. That'll work. That's 4 different colors. I can wrap my mind around that. So that's how you do that. Not over here. Right next to the item itself, you see that line. Click it, and you can go ahead and change the color. I'm going to take these all out. If you go down to the bottom, you get part 2. So part 1 is you get to see the target of the person that's evaluating. Huge amount of information. A Rosetta Stone. You are getting the inner clue to what that person, when faced with a blank template, and draw what you like. Draw what you find to be appealing. That's what they came up with. You might not have known that unless you were a big fan of that person. Now you can get it easily, and others. It's huge. This is the next thing. This is databases. This is databases like Crin has for Linear Fidelity. He's got a huge database. Me and others made the error of doing a lot of take a picture, a screenshot of the graph, and didn't save the text file. Some did. I didn't. I have to redo a lot of my graphs because I did it the wrong way. But some reviewers lean more towards budget stuff. So they'll have graphs of more budget stuff that might not be available to you in the same setup, like the same scale, which is important, because this, and going over to Linear Fidelity and going to Audio Discourse and going to Super Review and going to Riku Dogoku, you can get the same scale applied for the graphs, which is huge, because sometimes you got one person doing it one way and one doing it another, and people are doing overlays, and it's got a lot of work actually. You don't need to do that now. You can just compare directly. So down here I can jump by clicking and go to Audio Discourse. You can see his is white. I chose not to go white because this was just too bright for me, and it was difficult sometimes to see the line clearly depending on the angle of the camera. And again, he's got the targets up at the top. He's also got links to his Audio Discourse, reviews, graphs, headphone graphs. Then he's got the databases, so I can go back to my own. So I can go to Super Review. Let's check his out. He's got a spinning thing going on. Bam. And he's highlighted the file FH5S 200 hours burning. I haven't seen his in a while. And there we go. Reference targets, Moondrop Blessing 2. I haven't been on his in a while. So his is a different from where we just were, whereas this is pretty much, I guess this is like a two-tone white. Let's go back to his. I guess it's pretty much the same thing. And he's doing his target in dotted lines. I don't know how he did that. And then the latest maybe review that he's done and putting it up there. And I was able to jump to his ideal, his design, his is unique, and his collection of earphones. Because he might have something that nobody else has. He might be the first guy to get it. You want to see it on the same scale that you just saw the graph on the other site that you just came from, which was Audio Discourse. And it's on the same scale, 30 to 85. And it's 60. They're all at 60. Go from here. Now I'm at Audio Discourse after checking. I wanted to see something that he's got. I actually have this one. Let's see the cipher. Okay, there we go. Got it. Now I want to go back to mine, go back down to the bottom. I'm back to my site. So you can navigate. It's like wormholes. Jump from one reviewer and his collection of measurements, his ideal curve, and then jump to another and just spend a little while looking, and then you can check their personal, rankings of what they like and get as much info as possible before you make a purchase. If you've been in this hobby for a while, you know that you're looking at more info than you had, and it easier and quicker than you ever had before. People that came into the hobby and left already, it's like people that didn't have the internet when they were kids. It's a different world now. You can get the person's Rosetta Stone, their personal preference target. It's related to how they evaluate stuff. It's not the same across everybody. Everybody's got a different preference. It's obvious because we're all different. We listen to different music and we listen at different volumes. But what does that look like when you put it together? What is mine compared to... What does mine and Crin's look like? Well, the gain is pretty similar. And the roll-off in the late treble is pretty similar. The difference is the mid bass and the sub bass, but this is kind of a neutral target for him, and bass is to taste. Like, it depends on what the person wants. I know sometimes he likes more sub bass, so this is effectively what he likes here, and I believe this is left open for XYZ, like what people want. Some people like a little bit of sub bass, some people want sub bass and mid bass to be the same, so leave this open to the imagination, I guess. But this is pretty much the same, and you can easily do this now. And then let's go ahead and throw super views in there, and let's pin him. Let's go ahead and throw Riku Dogoku in there, and you can start to see these four people. Riku Dogoku has his own collection. Let me actually go to his site, because I don't believe that I've shown it. And there's his curve, and you can see it's got elevated sub bass, and he's got his own. This looks updated, actually. I got to get on the ball. And then databases, I hope he's got mine, because then I can jump back to my own, and he does. Here we go. And you can see that they're unique to the reviewer. So it's not like one thing and you don't, where am I again? Now, obviously you look at this and you know you're at mine. And if you go to audio discourse, it says it right on there. And if you go to another, so you got a ton of info. This is I'm so happy to do this video. I want to say thank you to SuperViews, because he made this possible for me personally. Answered a lot of questions. Some of them were legit. Some of them were like derp level stuff that I just, if I had looked before typing, I would have figured it out by myself. But he put up with it. And now you have a fucking wealth of info. So use it. You got access to earphones you might not have been able to find easily. You've got them on a scale that's the same across everybody's, and then you can jump through wormholes, and you can spend time at audio discourse and the collection, and then you can jump over to super reviews, and then after jump over to super reviews, jump back over mine, just with an easy click of the button. Go from one to the other to the other. This is just fucking brilliant. I love it. That's it. I'm out. Reviews are coming up. But man, use the tools available to you. Be a smart shopper. Ian, you got a lot of tools now. And I'm out. Coming from Queens. Coming.